I'ma make a way, either way I'm gon' eat. I'm so up right now, I cannot feel my feet. Same niggas talking down, trying to leech. Ain't no pressure about these hoes, cause
So, who are we here with today?
Green Greens in your motherfucking ear hole. And I'm here with Saginaw Sounds. Let's get to it.
So, where are you from?
Originally, I grew up in Marysville, here in Saginaw right now. So, all you Saginaw artists, come tap in with me. You know, you can see me in the studio. But I was born in Detroit. Didn't live there now, but grew up in Marysville with my homies that I actually live with right now, and then the other half of Green Greens, Tyler.
So, what brought you to Saginaw?
Originally, coming to Saginaw, I was going to go to school. I came here for a year, went to SVSU, then went back to my hometown. Came back up here, was going to go back to SVSU, and I was like, nah, fuck that shit. Because I didn't want to sit behind a desk doing computer science, that's what I was doing. Well, lo and behold, here I am behind the desk, but at least in this job, I get to smoke some weed while I'm doing it. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, you know, now I'm up here just doing a business. I run a studio now, Green Greens Productions. You can find that on Instagram. And just trying to build up something. I started from nothing. People will come over, just drink and smoke. And now I actually have started, you know, I charged $25 last year. Now I got my product up to where I think it's within the city limit, like big city Detroit level. So now I'm charging $50 an hour, and it's just really blossomed into something amazing.
So, how was childhood?
Childhood was pretty good. I didn't really have to worry about a whole lot. We were kind of talking earlier. There's some places you can live where you don't have to like lock your doors or lock your car doors or worry about what's going on. I mean, there was some times where neighbors would steal a skateboard or something from our house, but it was good. You know, I grew up doing sports. My dad worked a shit ton, and that's the only reason why we had what we had. And I think really the biggest reason why I have my work ethic and just getting up, grinding, working every day, doing what you love or doing what you got to do to make the bag shake, because otherwise it's not going to happen. So childhood was great. You know, it taught me a lot how to grow, how to be a really good athlete, and just how to be the man I am today, honestly.
So, how do you feel your childhood has influenced who you are today? Like, what's the biggest lesson it taught you?
The biggest lesson, well, I was really into athletics. My dad always being my coach, and he was always the hardest on me. So it was just, in a sense, that I craved perfection. And my dad also always craved that within our sports. And we were always really good. Our whole family was really good at sports. So I think, not to like put a brag on that, but just to kind of influence my work ethic and how hard I actually try and what I do really makes it so, you know, I didn't just start out being good at this. I had to try and I had to really work at it and I had to practice the same way you practice in sports, you know. So that right there, I think, was the biggest thing, honestly.
So where did the name Green Greens come from?
So Green Greens actually originated as a group chat, Green Greens N64, because we would play N64 in about 11th to 12th grade, and actually go play Smash Bros. Melee on the N64 at my buddy's house, Tom. So Green Greens was actually a 5-person group. It was me, my buddy Tom, my buddy Jake, my roommate Dylan, and then the person I rap with, Tyler, which me and Tyler just rap now. Green Greens N64, smoke weed, play video games. And that's really the basis. That's what Green Greens is, just about being chill, you know? It's about smoking weed, having fun, being with your homies, being able to relax, and yeah, it just encompasses all of it.
So when did you start music?
Shit, I think my mom told me, and I actually kind of have memories of taking pots and pans and flipping them over and just smacking them when I was a little kid. So I don't know if you count that as starting music, but I probably could say I started producing some sort of sounds, and that could be music, you know? Really getting into it though, putting audio to computer, that was about in 2017 when I dropped out of college, and that was when I dropped out because I was also starting to do that and realizing I could do it kind of well. Prior to that though, I was in band, so my percussive side, I played percussion in band all the way up to 10th grade, so that really helps me, I think, with my ability to rap and to have a decent rhythm. Yeah, so I mean, it's been ingrained in my life the whole time, my whole life.
So what instruments do you play, like besides rapping?
So besides a vocal, I suppose, instrument, I can play drums, drum set, played in a band, Andrew Thompson. So you actually interviewed him. Go check that out on Saginaw Sounds YouTube. But yes, I play drum set. I'm learning how to play the guitar. I can kind of slap a little bit on the bass. And I'm very bad, but can hit a note on a violin. So, and I play a little piano. Other than that, that's really it. I mean, guitar, yeah, I don't know if I already said that. But, yeah, I play quite a bit, actually. It can be kind of confusing and a lot to manage. If I want to learn something, I have to make sure I take time out the day to plan to actually play those instruments.
So, what's your biggest goal for the next year with music?
Probably the next year is to get myself into an industry studio. I've been working on my resume a couple times now, just refining it. It's a little different than your average resume, in my opinion. I gotta actually give sounds. Let me tell you something. Like my music, I actually have to have that in my resume, along with other people's works, what I can do. And that's a little bit different than putting my McDonald's experience and stuff. And I found that to be the case because when I put my resume in, it kind of gets overlooked a little bit, and I think I'm putting the wrong stuff. But 1 year from now, industry studio. That's where I want to be. Something big, something with a lot of outboard gear, and something where I can bring all of my people from Saginaw to go and upgrade their sound.
So, in the same light, what are your goals for the next 5?
Probably make it so I have a studio, maybe my own, personally, where I master engineer, as well as have other engineers that work there, but also have other studios outside, out west, maybe down south, or on the East Coast as well. I hope to have made $1 million in 5 years. Much more, but at least $1 million.
So, as far as rapping, what all do you do? Like, I know you engineer a little bit.
I do a lot, yeah. And it can seem daunting. I actually had somebody come up and say, dude, how many groups are you a part of? And it's kind of funny. I 2 groups officially that I'm a part of, Andrew Thompson Band, for lack of a better name, and then GreenGreens. I also go by for, I guess, Cutmeupspence as a producer. So I make some beats. I don't make them as commercially. I mostly make it for myself because when I make it, I'm like, oh, that's hot, and I already have made a song to it in my head. So I do that. I also just do odd jobs. You could hire me to run your taco stand because I have, experience working in a taco shop. I've also cut people's lawns for them to get paid. Just doing whatever's needed. I wear many hats, and that can be very daunting to a lot of people. But I've got a system down working, and it's going nicely.
So, what was your first release?
My first release was we could play it. I guess my first release would be Tapestry, I think it's called, and that's actually, if you look on our YouTube, it's our picture, our playlist. No, it's not. So 2232 is what it's called. We got some pretty crazy songs. So go and check that out. 2232 on YouTube. This GreenGreens music or GreenGreens, you can search up anything. Just if you see Kirby, just keep on scrolling. You'll find us. You'll see my face. And we got just so much music, so much. Yeah.
So what's your most recent release to compare?
To compare, just go ahead and look up Polaroid pictures on GreenGreens. That's going to be all of our most recent music. I actually have a couple of things coming out for that album, some videos and stuff like that, for some songs. If you follow me on Facebook, I've kind of hinted at what that is, but if not, then it's going to be a really cool surprise, or maybe we'll talk about it. But yeah, so Polaroid pictures or GreenGreens cook-ups.
So, how do you feel your sound has evolved since your first release?
Let me get some water real quick. Since our first release, I feel like our sound has evolved, not necessarily in a quality-wise of listen to ability, because I feel like even if you can hear in the background, you might not be able to, but if you can, our songs are kind of popping. They're not bad. And these are about 3 years old, or 2 years old now, and it's only progressed in professionality, I think, of the sound, of the bars, of the actual references, and the the way that we actually speak those words, the enunciation, and you have to project everything. You have to project into the mic. You have to find your style, and we've really found our groove, for sure.
So, any releases coming up soon? Any videos, singles?
Definitely. We have a whole lot coming up. I know Tyler has a tape he's working on. Like I said, GreenGreens is a duo group, so Tyler James is working on his personal tape, full of a lot of hits. I have my own tape called Growing Pains. That's going to be coming out in probably August or was it October maybe, or August, September, October. I'm definitely going to have a single coming out at the end of August, and that's going to lead towards the tape. And then just having some videos as well. With the new tape dropping, there's going to be some with respect to that, as long as old songs we're going to be trying to just get some visuals out, because now it's time we have so much good music, we need to push out these visuals.
So, who are your influences growing up?
Oh, a whole lot. To be honest, every time I would go to hockey practice, my dad and me would listen to the music that my mom wouldn't let us listen to. So we listened to all that, Eminem, Dre, Kanye, Wiz. I remember listening to Smack That, all on the floor, Smack That, give me some more. And like that type of style kind of probably influences a little bit of my singing. And that's really cool. As I grew though, listening, going closer to college, Kanye really dropped into my life with Late Registration, College Dropout, Wiz, and who else? Kevin Gates. Time for that song. Do you think I ever need your love? That bass line is so strong, and that's something that, those feelings all help me in my present day being a musician.
So, who are your top 5 artists all time?
All time? So this is going to be based off of how these artists made me feel. Real quick, some honorable mentions are just Tupac and Wiz Khalifa. But my top 5 are Lil Wayne, Kanye West, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and Mac Miller. And not really in that order, but just the type where they had affected me in such a positive manner. Most of these are, Lil Wayne's earlier tracks, Kanye West's earlier tracks, like we talked about before. And those are the artists that really stuck with me.
So who are your top 5 locally?
Locally, I got my boy Paragon. So his name's Keith Skinner. Go find him on Facebook. The homie A-Mac, I seen he's been doing some dope shit. Andrew Thompson, my lead singer that I drum in the band with, he's amazing. Such a good artist. So much musicality behind him. The homie Max Hilly and his people, man, they're so talented as well. For real. And then Goon World Mafia, Pusha 2 Times, The Coldest, Kane and Karma. You guys, everybody, Snooty, everybody. Y'all are cold, and y'all got it. And I chose that list based off of, the ability of rapping, how you guys actually sound, how we sound. And then obviously, you got me and Tyler. It's top 7, not top 5.
So, when you started music, what was your biggest fear? Like, what was your biggest setback?
The biggest setback was sometimes just not starting things. Everything just needs to. You just got to do it. And before, I used to kind of hold myself back of, I wouldn't do the full mixing processes when I was first learning out in my first year, because I was like, damn, that's a lot of work. But as I started progressing in my business and realizing I can do these things really fast, that allows you, it just showed me that I can do anything, So just starting is the hardest part.
So, what's your biggest piece of advice you can give to somebody starting music?
Continue making music every day. Don't stop making music. Or don't get discouraged if it doesn't pan out the way you want it to pan out, If you're trying to make something happen and it doesn't get views, doesn't mean it's bad, Maybe people are just hating. Or maybe it does mean it's bad and you got to get it some criticism. So definitely send it out to people. Make your craft, continue, and take criticism in a positive light. And that will help you out so much.
So, build your dream song. You get 2 features and a dream producer. What would that song look like?
2 producers, probably Nick Mira and Kenny Beats. And then I have, you said an engineer?
No, you get 2 features and a producer.
I'm sorry, okay. So that was 2 producers and an engineer. Well, then I would have wanted 40, but 2 features. Let's see. 2 features. I want Wiz and I want Snoop because we're gonna make the biggest stoner anthem ever. And what was the other one?
And then you get a producer to
I get a producer. 40's producing that bitch too. Are you kidding me? That bitch is going way off. I mean, the beat maker could be Mira. You know, the engineer could be 40. You know, we're putting it a little bit deeper here, but that would be dope.
So, if you could perform anywhere in the world, where would that be?
Anywhere in the world. Oh, there's a place in Colorado, I think it is. It's this place. I'm not sure. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Colorado venues. Yeah, I'm not even sure. There's a place that it's got this rock shit behind it. It looks like it's in the canyon. It's so beautiful. I would love to play there. Second best I would like to play though is DTE because I've been there and I've seen a lot of cool people there. And that would just be the icing on the cake for, I made it, I played the Crowfoot next to Electricity. The next one I need to play is DTE, or the biggest one. That would be amazing.
So, do you have any shows coming up?
Yes. We have a show the 28th at BMO's. That's August 28th. That'll be then, so you come see us. We also have September 10th, I believe Project Zorro is. Is that the date? Yeah, September 10th. Sorry, I'm stoned. But, yeah, so we have us there. You'll also be able to catch us the 29th is BMO's, 28th is Sapo Sesh. So if you have a med card, come out to Sapo Sesh, Vehicle City Social. Break the stigma, as Sapo likes to say. So that's where you'll be able to find us more recently.
So, Sapo Sesh is kind of notorious in Flint. How'd you land that gig?
So I actually did it. I have a couple connects. My buddy Lunchbox. He's good in the weed community as well as, we had some good music and I kind of hit him up a little bit and was like, yo, we really want to get in. And he allowed us to come in one time. And apparently he liked us because we go there a couple times now. I played with as a band. I rapped there a couple times. We're going to do it this coming up week or next week as well or something like that. So yeah, just building a relationship, and that's what you got to do as an artist. You got to network and you got to talk to these people because otherwise they're not going to know who you are, or you're not going to be able to perform. And it's super easy. You just got to talk to them.
So, non-music wise, who is your biggest influence on you in your life?
Probably the collective of my mom and dad. My mom actually ran a business with her mom, my grandma, and my dad. Their work ethics, it's the ability to go out and go get it and to help us so we can get whatever we need. I played expensive hobby sports, hockey, and I didn't have anything that was like crazy expensive. But I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. I didn't have anything crazy expensive gear-wise, but they always made sure that we had food and that we had stuff to do and we could play our sports, and that was really just based on their work ethic and just waking up and going to get it. And that's what I do every day. This music shit is a hustle, and if you don't work, it's not gonna work. And,
So do you have any life philosophies?
Other than just working hard to make sure I can provide for my family, I mean, it's really just, I don't live by YOLO because that's how you get hurt. I don't live by, I'm here for a short time or a fun time, not a long time, because you get hurt. But, I just always make sure that I work hard because one day I'll be able to indulge. And, I mean, life at the end of the day is just trying to make it so you have generational wealth. I want to make sure. The only thing I'm trying to do is have a family and make enough money so they can do whatever they want to do when they grow old enough to make those decisions. That's basically the only mantra, is just to make it happen for me and my kid. Really. That's it.
So, any hidden talents?
I'm pretty good at computer games, to a point where I was in like the top 20 to 15% in a couple video games. 2 of them being CSGO and League of Legends. I don't know for you nerds out there. Yeah, I love video games. I love realism games. So I don't play Call of Duty. I play Escape from Tarkov and things like that, Arma 3. And then I also like to skateboard and snowboard.
So, if you had some free time from just making music, what would you do?
Either do absolutely nothing, for the little bit of time that I have to do absolutely nothing, or I'll play video games. And absolutely nothing isn't just staring at the wall, smoking, and maybe watch some cartoons or something. Because really, at the end of the day, I frequently find myself saying I don't have enough hours in the day. So I'm always doing something. It's usually I have a schedule-based thing. So I'll get done with mixing, then I go out and work out. Part of my workout is drumming, so I drum, and then I come in, and then I work on more music, and then I have a spot for video games. So my life is really just planned it out and make it happen.
So around here, where's your favorite place to eat?
So I like to go to Liquid Lounge. That's a good spot. I also like to go to the place, what is it? Not Los Cuatro Amigos. What's the taco place before you get on the expressway on Michigan?
El Rancho?
El Rancho for their birria tacos. Those are fire. I just found out those are not dipped in menudo, so I eat those now. Because I personally don't like menudo. So those two spots, I like tacos. They're fire. That's my favorite food, to be honest.
So if you could give a cosign to one artist upcoming in the local scene, who would that be?
In the local scene, probably, You said like just a signing, like if I had like a bag?
Just a cosign, like put them on, like.
I'll just put them on, like do the stuff for free.
Who you're a fan of, like.
Okay. I mean, probably my buddy Keith, because he's the person that doesn't put anything behind his stuff. He's got the most, in my opinion, the hardest bars that I've heard from a lot of artists. And that's Paragon, who I was talking about in my top 5. And he's just a solid dude, really good family guy, and I think he would be a really good person to just put on like that. So if I had to pick anybody, yeah, Paragon, you got it.
So where can we find you on social media?
All you gotta do is type GreenGreens Music. It's Green Greens Music. So just make sure that second green's got an S. That's on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram, Cutmeupspence. Tyler's GreenGreens little T. If you go to GreenGreens Music, though, you'll be able to find all of our ats. Go ahead, follow us. We got so much good music coming up, and we post so many good artists as well. So check us out there.
So any shout-outs?
Any shout-outs? Shout out to you, Saginaw Sound. I appreciate you having me on. This is my first interview. Man, this shit is fucking fire. Shout out to GreenGreens Music. Go ahead and follow us everywhere. We got a bunch of music coming out. Shout out to Andrew Thompson. Go check us out. We're playing on the Princess Boat in Detroit in September. That shit's going to be lit. And shout out to anybody who's out there working and really actually trying in their craft and not just putting in half-ass effort and actually helping out these people around here and not taking advantage of them. Because that's what we need around here is people that are helping, and we don't need people that are trying to take advantage. So shout out to y'all. So
as we wrap up, any closing statements, anything you want to get off your chest, any info you got to put out there?
Nah, only thing is GreenGreens in your ear, ho.
Yeah. Feel like Paul Walker, I just crashed another whip. Drizzle 2 times, I just bagged another bitch. Hate the semi-auto, so I had to grab the switch. I'm addicted to the quality, man, my uncle get a